Welcome to 350 Degrees, one hot cooking show. We've got 3 contestants, 3 rounds, 3 judges, and 1 host. That would be me, Martin Cole. I'm here at the famous Betty Crocker Kitchens, one of the best tasting places on earth. 350 Degrees is a baking competition in which contestants are awarded degrees or points for their various baking skills. Whoever gets closest to 350 degrees wins the $2,500 grand prize. Last time on 350 Degrees, you met our contestants. Today, you're going to meet our judges. We're going to start right here with Jennifer Iserloh. You may also know her as the Skinny Chef. Now tell us, the Skinny Chef, where does that come from?
Well, I wasn't always the skinny chef. I actually struggled with weight myself, and now that I'm a healthy and happy weight, I'm here to show Americans how to do it too.
Did you become a chef later on, or did you always want to be one?
I actually changed careers when I turned 30, and now I'm teaching people that cooking healthy is fun and you don't have to deprive yourself. That's where the desserts come in.
That's exactly what I want to hear. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
Last time on 350 Degrees, we began round 1, which we called Flying by the Seat of Your Pants. Now, we call it that because the contestants had to make brownies for 12 people, but they had no measurements, no specific ingredients, and no recipes. Now, I could do that, but my brownies would taste like wood. That's why I'm the host, and they're the bakers. Contestants, put down your oven mitts and slowly back away from the ovens. Okay, so let's meet the judges. Angela Shelf Medeiros.
Hello there.
The Kitchen Diva.
Woo!
Yes. Jennifer Iserloh, the Skinny Chef.
Hi.
And David Fhima. How are you, David?
I'm doing wonderful.
So let's start with Ashley's brownies.
What do you think was the hardest part of this challenge?
Probably the hardest part was figuring out your measurements. You know, you've made brownies 100 times before, but when it comes down to, was it 1 egg or 2 eggs? Just little things like that, you know.
Let's move on to Mary's brownies.
And what ingredient do you wish you would have had access to?
Well, I had to use powdered sugar instead of granulated sugar.
Right.
And so I was already too far down the path before I realized I didn't have it. But I thought, these are so sweet, you probably wouldn't notice.
Last but not least is Ricky.
What were you trying to accomplish? I mean, what was the idea behind it?
Well, I think the idea was to give the brownie itself a little crunch. I love cookies, so crunch some of those up.
Nice.
And I like peanuts for the texture, the protein. And I added some coffee that might offset too much sweetness. So, to me, those are all the things that I love. So it's Big Daddy's voodoo love.
Okay.
Brownies.
So, Jennifer, let's start off with you.
All right, well, first we're going to give the score to the brownie that we thought got second place.
Okay.
This is the middle of the road brownie, and we voted for Voodoo Daddy.
All right. It's a good start.
And we liked the flavor. David thought the texture was really great and more brownie, according to his estimation. And I liked the flavor, and I loved the presentation.
Third place.
Ashley. I think if the cherry wasn't there, I think if the whipped cream wasn't there,
Right.
I think some of her texture was sort of affected by some of these extra fluids in there.
Okay, so
So,
that
of
means...
course, that means Mary is our Mary. And Mary, we really liked the more cake-like texture. I love the cream cheese in there.
Okay, let's move on to round 2. A fun little experiment we call You Made It, You Eat It. During this challenge, our judges are going to be with the contestants as they bake. Now, if you thought the last round was a piece of cake, I mean brownie, then wait till you see this next challenge. Now, judges, do you think we made it complicated enough for them?
I don't think so.
I mean, let's look at the evidence. Firstly, we started off and we said, you've got to make something out of cookie mix, but you cannot make a cookie, right? Mm-hmm. And then we said to them, you've got to include an unusual ingredient. So, white beans, pretzels, cayenne pepper. I don't think it's enough.
No.
Absolutely not.
I think we should add one more thing. Everybody switch baking stations. All right, how bad is it? Talk me through it. What did you get left with, Brett, here?
Pine nuts.
Pine nuts?
Which I'm not quite familiar with.
Okay.
So I was popping them and tasting them with different things, trying to figure out their texture, their taste, and things like that.
You wanted that mango chutney that
Oh,
she
I
has
wanted
out
it.
there.
I wanted it in the worst way.
What did you want to do with it?
Yeah, what are we going to do?
I can't tell you.
You know, it's looking good. You've got stuff in a bowl and you've got some pine nuts. That's always a good start. Every good cook knows that.
This is going to force everyone to think out of the box, and I think it's going to really be interesting to see what they come up with.
The first thing that popped into my mind is that I do grilled pizzas, dessert pizzas.
Right.
So instead of using a classic dough, I thought I could use the cookie dough.
And what did you select as far as your original ingredient?
I originally had the chocolate chip mix and the pretzels.
Oh, okay.
And what I thought I'd do is make the chocolate chip dough and then press the pretzels inside and then drizzle with some caramel.
What about your special ingredient, the unusual ingredient? What did you start with before you got here?
I started with the mango chutney.
And what was your idea there?
I was going to make a Thai type pizza, but in a dessert angle of it.
And what did you end up with? What happened when you got here? You had pine nuts?
I've never worked with pine nuts in my life.
While our judges are tasting the finished desserts and deciding on the degrees or points to be awarded. Join us next time and we'll find out who won round 2. We'll go on to round 3, which we call You Left Your Cake Out in the What? Now, it's time to award points for round 2. Judges, talk to me. Okay, who's next?
That would be me with our last place.
Last place, 50
and that
degrees?
goes to Mary.
Mary!
I thought your cookie crust was wonderful. It was perfectly cooked. It had a nice texture, but you were up against some stiff competition in this round. And, you know, we thought it had a good flavor. We thought all of you did a fantastic job.
If you've been with us over the past couple of weeks, you'll be familiar with our contestants, Mary, Ricky, and Ashley. Let's hear it for them. And of course, we cannot forget our fantastic judges, Angela, Jennifer, and David. Let's hear it for them. Great job. Judges, do you have any comments about how they did in our challenges?
Everyone shined more in one area than the other. Unfortunately, one has to be the winner. We wanted to declare the 3 of them the winners, but the producers says that doesn't work.
They were really creative, and they went with all the challenges that were thrown at them just beautifully. I so admire the fact that you did it with such good humor and grace and a lot of innovation, so I'm real proud of all of them.
They had fun.
They did.
And they enjoyed themselves, and cooking is fun and enjoyable. That's what it's about, is enjoying and sharing your creations.
Who finished in second place?
It's Mary!
Mary, let's hear it for Mary! Congratulations! The winner of $1,000! Which means the winner of $2,500 was... It was Ricky! Let's hear it for Ricky! $2,500! Brilliant! Thank you, Ricky. Thank you very much. Thank you all for being with us for this last couple of weeks. We hope you've enjoyed yourselves as much as we have. Keep checking BettyCrocker.com for original programming and awesome recipes. I was Martin Cole. You were wonderful. See you later.